Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing What If Deku Was Cross Sands Part 2. And, basically we're going to continue, like, right after where we finished last part. Which, the only reason I didn't go further is because I ran out of time, so that's why there was a cutoff on Part 1. But, yeah. So, if I'm not correct, I was about to explain what happened to Deku's sister, Kara. And I'm naming her Kara because I do not want to come up with another name for this character. So, as I said in the last part, she went missing. But what really happened? Her quirk is basically Deku's quirk, but there's some differences. Like she doesn't have bones or X blasters, but she has what's it called? Overwrite. She has this ability called Overwrite, which physically lets her warp reality around her to an extent. But yeah. So basically what happened to her, she went missing, and when the kidnappers ditched her on the side of the road because the cops were coming after them for kidnapping her. And and she was recruited into the League of Villains by let's say yeah, she was recruited into the League. Basically, I just want to throw that in because that's going to be important later on in the story. But with that out of the way, heroes versus villains. So basically they're in class. All Might comes through the door. I am here. And everyone starts freaking out except for, Deku. Because, it's Deku. He doesn't freak out. He's an edgelord. And yes, Deku and Kara are two separate beings, because that's the way I want to do this story. Make it a little different. Put my little spin to it. But, yeah. And then they pick teams. It's Deku, it's the teams from canon. And, so, basically, yeah. So, Deku and Uraraka versus Bakugo and Ida. And, how do I want to put this? Basically, Uraraka floats to the top of the building, comes to the top of the building. Bakugo runs off because it's Bakugo. And Bakugo runs into Deku. Let's say the third floor, and they start going at it. And they... But, not Bakugo. Deku summons his sword, and Bakugo gets ready with some explosions. They're going at it. Let's say Deku did teach Bakugo some moves, because they are sort of friends in this universe, world, whatever. What if? That's the word. But yeah, basically. And what's the word? Where was it? Yeah. And let's say Bakugo pulls the pin on one of his gauntlets, and this massive explosion flies towards Deku, and All Might's like, young Bakugo, don't. And Bakugo pulls the pin anyway. And what Deku does, he splits it. He splits the beam with his sword. He slices it right down the middle, splitting it in half. Then he dashes toward Bakugo, and knocks him out because he kind of turned his sword into a bone and knocked him out. Basically, that's what happened. And Uraraka found the bomb. Deku teleports up to where Uraraka is, and basically what happens, Deku cuts a hole in the wall, but it's so clean, like Ida didn't hear it. And then he kind of stabs his sword into it and pulls it out. Quiet enough where Ida doesn't hear it. And then Deku comes around to the door. He pulls back his sword and he cuts the door in half. And before the door fell into pieces, it had these red linings, like damage was being dealt to it. And then it fell to pieces. Deku's sword, Deku walks through the broken down door with his sword glowing in his eye, glowing red, basically what he looks like in the picture. Oh, and he did get the heart locket from his sister before she went missing. They both got one. Let's put it that way. And Ida charges towards Deku with a reciprocal burst. Ida tries to kick him, but it doesn't work, and Uraraka came through a hole in the wall. And basically Ida tries to kick Deku, but it doesn't work because Deku dodges it. And then it's basically stalling Ida till Uraraka can get the bomb. And Ida just keeps trying to kick Deku, but it's not working because of Deku's a god. He keeps dodging and weaving and dodging. Basically, he turned his sword back into a bone because he can't really use his sword when he's training. He's bruising him up, and he's like, "Okay, I'm done playing games." His eye glows fiery red, basically how his eye looks in the picture. And he just whacks Ida in the face with this bone, and he is sent flying into a wall. Uraraka touches the bomb. Hero team wins. Oh, Jesus. And USJ, right? So they're on the bus, and Robbie looks over to Deku. She's like, "So, what's your quirk?" And Deku kind of basically uses his cover quirk, and he doesn't talk about his real quirk because he doesn't want many people knowing what his real quirk does and is, because then they'll start thinking that he has multiple quirks, and then blah blah blah, attention that he doesn't want. And Robbie buys it because story. And they get to the USJ. When all the villains start flooding in, Deku sees this. Oh, and his hero suit is basically what he's wearing in the picture here. And Deku sees, as the villains are flooding out, he sees this one person that looks familiar to him. wearing something similar to what he's wearing, but not exactly. And when all the villains start flooding in, Deku teleports down there and starts wailing on these guys. And let's say Aizawa gave him lethal force. Because plot. So he starts knocking all these villains down when the Nomu comes out. Let's say All Might arrives a little, scratch that idea. When the Nomu comes out, Shigaraki's like, kill that kid. Tells the Nomu to go kill that kid, which is points to Deku. The Nomu rushes at him, and Deku quickly figures out. The Nomu tries to swing at him. But again, Deku's eye is flaming up like it is in the picture. And he takes a sword and cuts the Nomu's arm off as he started to swing at him. And then he started to regenerate. And Deku figures out while he's fighting this thing that this thing's not really alive. So he's like, no more games. He cuts the thing in half like he did the 0-pointer. Straight down the middle. And let's say on the other side of the USJ, this hooded figure in white, which is Kara, because, plot. Let's say she's fighting... What's the dude's name? Let's say she's fighting Tokoyami and Sugar Rush in one of the areas. And she's about to wrap up. Basically, she knocked out Sugar Rush and is fighting Tokoyami. And she does take out Tokoyami, knocking him out, not killing him though. And she comes out of the area. And Deku's still wailing on these villains. And, let's say, what's his face? Shigaraki rushes at Deku while Deku's kind of distracted. Because he's fighting a group of villains. And Shigaraki comes up behind him thinking that he can get a cheap shot and try to kill him. But no, that doesn't work. Deku grabs him by his wrists, and snaps his wrists like they're twigs, and then kicks him back. And then Shigaraki's on the ground, whining in pain, because it's still man-child Shigaraki, not cool crime lord Shigaraki. Do I want to skip ahead to the fun part of this? But nah. Save that for a bit. Yes, screw it. You all knew this was gonna happen eventually. Kara pulls out a blade, a sword very similar to Deku's. Yeah. Basically, Kara is surrounded by students. And, basically it's Todoroki, Kirishima, Bakugo, and, I would say Tokoyami, but no. Momo, there you go. The guy has her basically pinned against the wall, but that won't be. So, basically... She teleports her behind him, and her eye goes purple instead of red. And she knocks them all out. Then she gets to the center of the USJ. And Deku and Kara both have their blades, swords at hand. And then Kara's thinking in her head, do I know him? And Deku's thinking the same thing. But then they rush at each other, going full speeds. Kara's blade glowing bright, light purple. It's a light purple. And Deku's blade glowing red. And I'm going to leave this off as a cliffhanger. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Peace.